So many people view success differently, and that occurs in projects also. We say, okay, the idea of the project is to build this. So it's important to recognize that when you build something, whether it's a computer program, a car, or you publish a book, or you build an airplane. Airplanes. I have a different idea of what an airplane seat should be. It should be wider. There should be more space this way. Okay, and the tray when it comes down should clear my stomach, not stuck on my stomach up here. But Lufthansa and Airbus or whatever that plane was, the tray is sitting up here, the chair is like this. I feel like I'm riding standing up. Is this satisfying to the customer? No. But they don't give you choice. You want to fly from Frankfurt to Belgrade. You have Lufthansa and you have what? Air Serbia, and they probably all fly the same plane. Okay? Whatever. So a lot of times these companies build things and they make it for their convenience because they can fit more people in the airplane, make more fare, more money, and to satisfy as many people as possible. But I still have to get there. So sometimes I'm forced to pay. So success is measured in a lot of different ways. Our objectives here are to describe to you the 4 success dimensions. We also will talk to you about what the traditional view of success was, and then we'll explain to you how time plays a role in measuring success. And also, at the end, why you do not have to be successful on all 4 dimensions. And what typically the old way to measure success was called the triple constraint. And that is considered a short-term view of measuring success. The 4 success dimensions look at success not only in the short term, but also the long term. So it's not just at the end of the project, but also time after the project. So the traditional project looks at the project as a box. And the box is measured by the triple constraint, and we have cost, time, and performance or specifications. These are three vectors. Anybody take vector analysis? No mathematicians. Okay.
Trying to avoid it.
Try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Well, in mathematics or vector analysis, when you have 3 different directions pulling against each other, right? So this is the beginning, this one's pulling this way, this is pulling this way, this is pulling this way. They're what? They're pulling on the box. They're pulling on the constraint. They're constraining the box. And what you try to do as a project manager is you try to solve the vector equation, which is the result of those 3 forces being pulled. And usually it's to try to manage those different ideas and trade off. Hey, how much thought should I involve, how much time, and how much should I build? So it's a juggling act. I have this much amount of time, this much of dollars, I can only build this much. But I have to build this much, maybe they give me more time, maybe they give me more dollars. So you juggle all of these 3 things around, and you manage these trade-offs. And the vector analysis says these 3 constraints create this result. Part of your job as a project manager is to walk in and find out, okay, how much budget do I have? How much time do I have? And what do you want me to build? Right? How much budget? How much time? What do you want me to build? And you try to figure out if given those three vectors, that you actually can achieve the result. So you have to analyze. I got this much budget, this much time, and they want me to build this? Are you crazy? Of course they're crazy. Why? Because they always want it to be what? Build faster, better, cheaper. Right? As quickly as possible. The lowest cost.
Highest quality.
Maybe high quality. Maybe not. That's the problem. Because if they worry about budget and schedule and they fix these two, there's only so much of this you can do. And typically what happens if you limit the amount of this that you do, you cut off the capability that you're building. Sometimes you cut the corners and you cut off the quality. Quality takes time and effort. Quality is not something you check at the end. Quality is something you build into the project. When you design the car, when you design the house, you design the airplane, you build it with a design that says, I'm designing for quality. And as you build the different pieces and you put the different pieces together and integrate them and bring them together, you test the quality as you go. And then at the end, you do a full test of the whole system. So you test all the little pieces to make sure all the pieces are working. Test the pieces in the little subsystem. Make sure the subsystem is working. Test a couple of subsystems together. Make sure that's working. Then finally you test the whole system. Make sure the system's working. Quality is designed in, set in the requirements. The quality is set in the requirements, designed in, built in, tested in, and then finally tested at the end. The final result. So, for you to, quote, try to cut quality, you might as well cut it at the beginning. Don't build it in. Should I say, no. Are you guys Serbian-centric? You have problems with Serbian jokes?
Okay.
Then you build a Yugo. Okay. Not a problem, right?
Yeah.
The Yugo. Oh. Or you build the Volkswagen, right? Before it was the Beetle. The car worked, but after a while it fell apart. So you don't have to build quality in. You don't have to test it in. But then, what is the result? Something that works a little bit and then has a bad reputation later on. So this success dimension used to be just budget, schedule, specification. And a lot of times, that was it. You measured the box. Measured the box. And project managers were based on measuring the box. So this is what we call traditional project management. This is short-term thinking. Short-term thinking. So we measure on time, within budget, and to spec. And I call that Nike project management. You go to the project manager and the project team, you say, just do it. Don't worry, just do it. Do what? Do what? This is a negative approach to project management. What they're telling you is, be a robot. Here's what we want you to do. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Don't think. And if anything happens, you're okay. React. Don't think ahead. Don't plan. So this is that's the old approach. So this is project. This is thinking about the project as just that box. And the target is just finish the project. Traditional thinking. And what you have to remember is that you have to start thinking out of the box. What comes out of the box? That's the important thing. And that is to create business results. Create something that you can buy, sell, support, and give to your customers. Whether it's inside the company or outside the company. Create something that they can use. Something they will want to use. So you have to think out of the box. Strategic project management takes all that short-term thinking over there and does what? It's long-term thinking. It says, okay, here's the box. We need to start thinking after the box. We have to create competitive advantage. We have to create profitability. We have to support the strategic intent of the company. We want to make money. We want to service a certain market, a certain industry, a certain customer. We want to compete against Ugos or Saabs or whoever is bringing cars into the country. We want to build a better car. So we have to think beyond just building something. We have to understand why we're building it and who we have to compete against. Because that competition is going to have a certain capability, and we want a capability that's going to be better than that. You need a path to achieving project success, and we want you to think differently. Strategic project managers, the idea is to be positive, to create lasting results, not just short-term results. We ask you to be a strategic project leader. Be a leader. We ask you to think. Hey, you bachelor's degree, master's degree. You're working in business. Think. You have a brain. It's okay. Somebody tells you to do something. Don't just do it. Say, hey, does that make sense? Because a lot of times they don't know. They think they know, but they don't know. And you need to question them. You need to ask them. You need to think. Because sometimes they say, take this and put it together with this. Say, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in your mind. That's why. The question that you have in your mind is something that upsets your stomach when you go to bed and say, hey, they asked me to do this in the project. I can't do that. How am I going to do that? Why am I going to do that? They're crazy. You can't live that. You can't manage a project if you don't understand what's going on. So you have to think. And you have to act, not react. You have to, as I said, my brother said to me the other day, you're always thinking about, what if this, what if that, what if that? You know what happens if I think about what if this, and what if that? I have in my mind an idea of what to do and how to do it going forward. I don't have to, when it happens, all of a sudden sit back and think. I've already got an idea of a plan. So I have basically a plan to react, or to act rather than to react. I can go somewhere right away. I don't have to wait and stumble. So it's important to be proactive as a strategic project leader. Yeah, cruise to project success. I think at the end I have a picture of a cruise ship, so that's why. So that's the box, right? And what are we saying happens after the box? We measure success. The first thing we measure, right as soon as the box finishes, is we can tell. We can look back and, oh, we finished the product, here it is. Now we can look back into the computer and say, okay, this is how much time it took, and this is how much money we spent. Budget and schedule. So the first thing we can measure is efficiency. Budget and schedule, efficiency. We can tell how long it took to do the project and how much it took to do the project in terms of cost. The time-wise, that's a short amount of time right after the project. Maybe within a couple of weeks or a month, I can figure that out. And what happens is It's at this point that most management stops and says, hey, you were the project manager. Look what you did on schedule. Look what you did on budget. You did great. You made both of them. It's okay. Maybe not okay. There's other things to think about besides just finishing the project on time and to budget. Maybe you're a few dollars over, a few days late, and the manager says, it was so good. You're a horrible project manager. And you say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I may be a dollar over. I may be a day late. When you take my product to the customer, it will work. They will love it. And you will sell millions of them. Tell me then what you think about my success. Don't tell me now. Now you're measuring what? The efficiency of the project. Well, you're not measuring the effectiveness of the product that I created. So you as a manager are a fool if only that's the only measurement you use to measure me as a project manager. And it's good for me to say, but I don't think you could say that to your manager. But you can think it. Because what happens is, these are different things that support the short-term dimension. I asked a student to develop a project plan in class. Yeah?
May I ask something?
No. Okay, what's up?
Right.
Yeah.
So as I understood, it's like for the short term, we see it as efficiency, but if we try to look it as a long term, then it may become sustainability. As I...
What kind of advantage?
Advantage.
No, you said...
Sustainability. So the project can live on longer if you look at the long-term results.
Yeah. If you, when you complete the project, you meet budget and schedule. If you meet it and you create garbage, and nobody uses the garbage, then you have no what? No sustainability long term. If you meet budget and schedule and you create something good, people use it, maybe you have some sustainability. But if you create the project and you are over budget a little bit, over time a little bit, but you create something great and people really use it, like millions and millions, you create huge sustainability for the company, that's more advantageous to the company than just meeting the budget and schedule. So meeting budget and schedule to me is not the end result, the end goal. The end goal is creating the best result, the best deliverable, something that will achieve the profitability or the savings that we're looking for from the result. Okay? I don't know, I probably didn't answer your question.
I'm trying to use that.
Yeah, it's okay. What I did, I went to the Dominican Republic and I gave the students a final exam. I said, I'm leaving now, and in 1 month, email it to me, and I will then mark your final grade. 1 month comes, and everybody's paper arrives except this one student. And I say, what's happening? He says, well, I said, okay. So he didn't deliver what? Didn't deliver on time. It didn't meet my expectations. So I'm saying to myself, does this student deserve a full grade? I don't know. He delivered 2 weeks later than that. Maybe, I don't know. The result wasn't so great. To me, that was a failure on time delivery. He didn't make the time delivery because everybody else delivered on time. One student out of 15, the other 14 able to do. Why can't you? So he failed to deliver on time. And his project name You want to know what his project name was? Improvements in express mail service. Well, his express mail service of delivering his project plan to me was not so express. And then I later found out that when I looked at the paper, that his project motto was Team Blue Box. We deliver when we're good and ready. Hey, maybe it's good and ready for you, but I'm the professor and I'm sitting here a month and then 2 weeks later you deliver late. And that's not good and ready for me. So sometimes, depending upon the size of the project, the deliverable that's required, success measured on time and schedule is okay to measure it. Hey, you're supposed to write a one-page summary. You can't do it in a month. Everybody else did it. Something wrong with you. That's failure. But if it's a huge paper and you take time and you improve it and you come up with a great paper, and it takes you the 2 extra weeks, maybe then I have some leeway on the time schedule. So sometimes it's good to be late, and sometimes it's not so good. Depends on what? The project. And you will find in project management, everything depends. Everything depends. Everything is situational. You have to understand the situation, all the events that are evolving in the project, to decide whether or not this is good measurement, success measurement. So for him, he got an A for thinking out of the box. But for the course, whoops, I gave him a final grade of C because he needed to be on time for that short of a project, that size project. So that was efficiency. The customer is looking at it and starting to use it. I have the second dimension of success. It's called impact on the customer. So here, I created the laptop. Take it out of the box and hand it to you. And then you start using it. You like it? They've got another laptop, somebody else. A lot of people start using it. By this time, I start seeing whether or not people are using my deliverable. Are they using my deliverable? What I created, is it something they're using? Are they using it to the level or volume that I expected them to use it? In other words, I expected to sell 500 and I only get sales of 100. Something's wrong, right? I expected to sell 500 and I end up selling 1,000. Something's really good here, huh? There's a measure there of satisfaction by the customer. That's the impact on the customer. And this is where the quality comes in. Because if it's not good quality, that's probably why I only sold 100. If it's super excellent quality, that's probably why I sold 1,000. Hello!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm
always great. Yes?
I have a question. How do you measure the impact on the customer? By units sold, or do you have any?
Depends on the project. Right? If it's a consumable, it definitely can measure by units sold. No. Right?
I mean, do you have any? Do you need any input from the customer, or do you have? Do you use?
You go to the cash register.
It's the best.
See how many dollars came in the cash register. It's very easy, right? But there are other projects, it's not so easy to find out whether or not they're using it. You do an internal project, where maybe you're doing an internal project, you expect everybody to use the new email system. So what do? You go look at the transaction volume, right? Right? So there are ways to figure it out. But the idea is that now, after the project is not the time to figure it out. The time to figure it out, that measurement out is what? Before the project. So that you have mechanisms in place to do the calculations.
When you're thinking and you're talking about impact on customer, I can't think of anything but marketing. Is marketing here included in project execution, or is it external and we are cooperating with that function?
Marketing is another organization in the company. What I, as a project manager, create is built to a product plan that somehow was created by people in product management. Product management people work with the marketing people, who work with the salespeople, who got the ideas from the customers and from the users on what to put into the capability of the product.
Because we were talking about why we are doing some project, and mostly marketing is giving that answer.
Yeah, well, my idea is to figure out why the hell does this computer have to have a hard disk in it with 2 terabytes? Because when I'm building it as a project manager, I have to get the engineer to put in a 2 terabyte drive. That's going to suck down the power on here, it's going to heat up the thing, and now I have trade-offs in the technical design of the thing. So project manager is worried about the technical designs and stuff, and the marketing people, they're only worried about what? How much they can sell, right? And who they can sell it to. So they see somebody else has a 5 terabyte drive. Well, we have to have a 6 terabyte drive. We have to be better. Oh, maybe it's not possible. So part of your job is to keep the marketing manager and the sales manager and the customer and the user and your management and all the stakeholders happy. But at the same time to say, yeah, you want a 6 terabyte drive. Nobody makes it. It's not available. Not possible. You have to what? Bring them back to reality.
Yeah, but sometimes even the maybe worst product than there is on the market sometimes is successful, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, which Pepsi was proved to be better quality by the customers.
Well, if you drink Coca-Cola and Pepsi, you have a bad stomach.
But somehow Coca-Cola, because of that marketing, had a bigger impact on customers.
To me, that's you're getting into the consumer market of consumer type goods, and whether or not Pepsi is better than Coke depends on who drinks it, really. And if you like sugar, you don't like sugar. So it's not sometimes that I have any control over as a project manager. But if somebody asks me to put something together and it's technically not possible, I have to explain to them the reality of not technically possible, right? Or if they say to me, it's easy, simple, I have to explain to them, yeah, easy and simple for you because you're not an engineer and you don't understand that I have to fix this bus to that bus, and then I have to put the computer interface software together to do that, and this is how long it takes. And you're asking me to do it in this amount of time, and I know it takes this amount of time. So as a project manager, you have to explain to somebody the reality of life. They're worried about, oh, I have an idea, simple, just do it. Yeah, for them it's simple. I worked on a number of projects where the company was stressed for results. They needed to have revenue come in. So one of the sales guys comes in and he says, hey, I have an idea. And he comes and he takes me to lunch, and he takes the napkin and goes, it's okay. I said, yeah, it's okay. We can do that. So he goes and sells it. I bring this back to my team. My team says, yeah, it looks okay. But this is the user interface, and what you forgot is all this stuff underneath supporting the user interface that has to be built, that doesn't exist. And this is going to take a lot of time. This is easy. This is not so easy. So my team said to me, are you crazy? I said, yes, I guess I was trying to be nice. Sometimes you can't be nice, especially to salespeople. Well, salespeople sometimes will sell anything. So it's a balance in the company between the technical people, the marketing people, the salespeople. and the management, all trying to do their job. But in the end, when it comes down to creating this product, the project manager and the project team have to build it. So all this stuff, as we say, flows downhill, right? All this stuff flows downhill to the project, and the project has to make it work, and then try to figure out a way to push it back uphill to get it out of the company.
So it means that, as you said, we have to set up the criteria for that.
For every,
Criteria for
you have to have,
yeah.
if you're in project management, everything has to be controlled. There have to be criteria for everything.
And meaning how to measure that?
There's usually, what you have is you have, within your development organization, you should have a development process, a way to do things. This is the way we normally do things. And this is how we do it. And these are the steps. And this is how we control the quality of what we deliver. Because we know exactly how long it's going to take, you know what it's going to take to do, and we have the right people to do it.
And it is controlled by these steps, as you call them.
Yeah.
Steps. Is it?
Well, that's the whole idea of project management, is to control everything by steps.
Okay.
You do things step by step by step. And what you try to do, as much as possible, if you have 3 people working for you, you have each of the 3 people doing a step at a time during the same time frame. And they're doing their work independently of each other and in parallel, but they're working at the end. When they finish, he delivers his piece, she delivers her piece, you deliver your piece. We take those pieces and we put them together, and when we put them together, we call it integration. We put them together, they should work so that they fit comfortably, not so they're like this. So part of the project manager's job is to plan the work, plan the steps of the different people, orchestrate the work, so you do your work, you do your work, and you have a certain time frame to do yours, yours, and yours, and when you deliver, it all comes together at the right time, with the right connections, and it fits, not so it's all screwed up. So yeah, everything is a step, increments, step, 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 big step, everything together, put it together, test it, it works, put it on the side. Another group, they bring their piece works. And you take this piece and this piece, and you have to marry those 2 pieces together. So you have to integrate 2 pieces together now, 3 pieces, and then you see if they work, and they have to be put together like that too. And so that's the job of the project manager, is to make sure all those steps get done by people independently of each other, in parallel, at the same time, doing their work, and then bringing it all together and orchestrating the final result. So now, this point in time, the customer is using the thing that we created, and we find that it's getting some result. Okay, as we find it gets a result, these are the things that go on during success dimension 2. So a large company promised to deliver a new product, but guess what? They had a problem. This company was IBM. There's a new printer, and it didn't work out of the box. People would take it out of the box, IBM, and say, okay, it's IBM, plug it in. Not working! Everybody's all upset. IBM, you're delivering garbage. So what happened? That product was dropped. And that's a failure because what they delivered didn't satisfy the customer. Didn't work. Didn't work the way the customer expected it. So you know what happened? IBM took the same product, fixed it, made it to work the way the customer really wanted it to work, and reissued it with a new name and a new package, so it looked different. It was the same computer, the same printer, but it had a different package on it, different name on it, but now it worked, and that product was successful. Okay, but now, the product is out there and we're selling a lot of them or we're not selling a lot of them, then we have impact on what? The business. This is where the cash register comes in. Okay? Because now we start to understand that we're seeing sales for the product we built. Or we're seeing sales for the email system we built. Not sales, but transactions. The idea of an internal project typically is to improve the internal process of the company, to speed up the process, to make it faster. You make it faster, you use less resources, you use less people, you're saving money on internal projects. Internal projects save money. External projects, you're trying to create something to sell, whether it's a product or service, to make money. So in one case you go to the transactions, in the other case you go to the sales register to understand whether or not you're having an impact on the company's bottom line. The bottom line, whether or not the company has money coming in, cash inflow, or money going out, cash outflow, and whether you're saving on the outflows and increasing the inflows. So, these are the different things that occur for the business dimension. So, as an example, the project was to replace a large workforce. I was teaching a project manager workshop at AT&T. Group came in and we said, we have a $500 million budget. We're building this project that's going to replace this workforce. And somebody in the back of the room says, oh, I have a question. Like you in the back, I have a question. What's the question? Last week I saw that workforce has already been replaced. Wow. What do you mean replaced? It's gone. It's no longer there. Whoops! Why are we doing $500 million project? Where's the, where is that workforce we're going to replace? It's already gone. Why are we doing this? I'm doing a week-long workshop, and this is the first day of the workshop, and they find out they have a project that they don't need to do. They've been working on it for a long time, and they were trying to reestablish it, and now all of a sudden they find out, no need to reestablish it. There's no need to do it at all. So whoops, we'll take the rest of the week and do the workshop, but in the meantime our management is going to go back to the business unit and sit down and figure out, why the hell are we doing this project? There's a little piece of that project should be used to build for the future. And there are ways you can do that. You're doing a computer program, putting together a computer program. You have new people coming on board, new programmers. Bring a new programmer onto the project, give them a piece of the project to work on. To give them what? Skills. So you can build skills in the current project, the people that are coming on board. There are new technologies coming around. So today it's Java, and I used to use the thing Java Beans, and then all of a sudden now people are doing NetBeans or something. But so the new software technologies, new capability. So take a piece of the project and do it in the new capability. The old capability is in C language, the new capability is in the Java language. But just a little piece of it. So you build up your competency in that thing. And if it takes off, then you have someone to grow with to build that capability, that technology usage in future projects. Suppose I build a computer. Do I build a computer so it just functions for today? No. How many different ports do I have on this computer? I have 3 USB ports, right? I have different ways I can plug things in. So I create this computer so it's extensible, so it can grow. So that if I sell this to somebody, I can sell them a mouse, I can sell them a graphical design tool, I can plug into this thing. I can sell them a Telenor data card that doesn't work in Serbia.
It never works.
You have a better one?
No, I don't have that one.
I'll give you mine.
I don't need it. Thank you.
It's supplied by the Serbian by the university.
I think the walls are too thick, you know.
Well, at least we got the bed to work.
That's a good one.
And the toilet seat.
But as I see
You know, it's very tough to have an apartment and not to have a good toilet seat. Yeah, what was he saying?
as I see these 4 dimensions of success, is it right to say that like the guy who was the project manager for the first iPhone, like he did a good job? Because he
There's a story about this idea. There were 2 cars at Ford, Taurus. The Taurus 1 and then the Taurus 2, later version. Taurus 1, the project manager built the car and got it out, and they basically were fired. You know why they were fired? Because they missed the budget and the schedule. Turns out, 6 months, a year later, Taurus is the best-selling car in Ford's line. The project manager was fired, but it's the best product Ford ever had. Okay? Later on, Ford is not having so good sales anymore in their cars. They decide to come out with the Taurus 2. And what do you think the project manager of the Taurus 2 did?
They called this guy.
They made sure they got it in on schedule and budget. They didn't worry about the quality. They didn't worry about the product end result. So what happened? That person kept their job. What happened to the product sales of the Taurus 2? Yeah. You get what you pay for. You get what you measure. You're measuring the wrong thing. When you measure just budget and schedule, you're measuring the wrong thing. You have to measure this and this. These are 2 important things to measure. If the customer is happy, they're using it, you get the savings results you want for an internal project. If the customer is happy, they're using it, they're buying it, you get the sales revenue that you're expecting. If you get the usage on the email system, you're saving time and money, it's going to the bottom line here in the profitability of the company. If you're using it here, the customers and they're buying it, you're getting sales in the cash register, it's going to the bottom line of the company, that's profitability. And guess what? Your company management is happy here. Your customers and users are happy here. If both of these 2 groups are happy, your project is what? Success! Your customers don't give it. Maybe they care about they coming in on time. They don't care about budget. They don't care how much you spend to build that product. But you know what? In the long run, this is your happy spot. These are your happy spots. And that's how you measure success in the project. And that's how your management has to start thinking. And guess what? As I told you earlier this morning, that most people, they work in the team, then they become project managers, do project management for a while, then they become managers. See, as you become managers, you have to start thinking about these thoughts. Most current managers think about this, and then this, and forget about that. But you are the managers of the future. And the problem is that as you go through your career, you get promoted, and you get promoted because you look like, sound like, and act like the manager before you, who thought what? Projects are measured on this. But you knew better. But you didn't do better because you what? You want to get promoted, so you just made like you did this. It's stupid. You're not getting anywhere. We're not getting any better as a company. we're not learning. The company's not learning. The company's not growing. You didn't grow. So it's important. Multiple dimensions of success. Most important being satisfy the customer, and you will satisfy the business. And if you do something inside the project that builds for the future, it allows you to get extra results out of the future. And actually what I should have put was a school, Stevens, built a 200-bed facility, 200 car parking lot. And guess what? It wasn't big enough. Whoops. They outgrew it the first year. And they were on, Stevens is on the Hudson River, so they had to build multi-rise. If they were smart, they would have built a few more rises for free, almost for free, and would have been able to handle bigger capacity. So, no, there weren't enough parking spaces, so in 2 years they needed 400, not 200 spaces. And now the cost of building it on top of what they built couldn't do, because the structure they had on the bottom wouldn't support the structure on top. And plus the construction costs were that much more expensive 2 years later. So they had to build an extension. So they had to buy another piece of land and build another parking lot, which was also only 2 stories high. So they didn't learn from the first lesson. So that was a failure. So the new success is 4 dimensions, not just budget and schedule and spec. Because budget, schedule, and spec are what? Budget and schedule are here. Spec is kind of here. The spec typically doesn't check the usage of the customers or users, doesn't check the quality as much. So they need to think beyond. And you do not have to be successful on all 4 of these dimensions. These are the 2 most important ones. And this probably helps you get to this one. No? Did you see it blink?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 important ones. Blinked. I did it twice just in case you missed it the first time. So, traditional project management is what? Thinking inside the box is the project execution. Project success is measured after the box. But in order to get to project success, we're going to have to talk tomorrow about something called project dimensions. In the middle of a sleep cycle, I wake up and I say, I got it. I need to do this. So I have the little pen next to the bed and write down what I need to do. When I wake up in the morning, where did that come from? Well, it came from your sleep. But then you need to recognize that as a project manager, you're responsible for everything, and you're thinking about it almost every minute of the day. Almost every minute of the day. And if something happens and you're listening, and you hear somebody say something, I heard that. I understand that now. You have to learn to listen to what's going on. You have to learn to see what's going on. You have to read between the lines, as they say. You have to read the writing on the wall. You have to feel the vibrations of the company, the vibrations of the industry, the vibrations of the customer, the vibrations of the user, and most importantly, the vibrations of your project team. It's only through your team that the work gets done. It's not because you're doing the work, it's because they are doing the work. And what you have to do as a project manager is you have to make sure you have the right people doing the jobs they feel comfortable in doing, and giving them the opportunity to do those jobs. You have to constantly think about the people on your team, even if they're matrixed and they come from other organizations. When they come from other organizations and they're on the project, they're part of the project team. And you as the project manager are part of the project team. And your job is to be the foundation for the team, to support the team. Yeah? Not to manage from up here, but to manage from down here, to hold them up, to make them feel great when they don't feel great, to make them feel successful, to give them the opportunity to succeed, to give them the right work to work on. Pick the right job for the right person. Make sure they feel good about doing that job. Make sure that they feel like they're being part of the solution, part of the project. Make sure they understand how they fit in the project so that they become more and more invested in the project. That way they will want to come to work and they will want to stay late and work hard. Don't force them to work hard. Don't force them to give them money to make them work. They should want to work because the work is satisfying, because they're doing something they want to do. And they're working with you, not just for you. Remember, it's with you. And you have to be listening. You have to be able to understand each person in the project team is an individual. You, I can motivate you because I can give you a new car. I can give you some money to buy a new car. You may want to be getting married, I don't know. So maybe you want to save some money for your marriage. You probably want some money for your household. You want to go to the sports venue and watch the sports, right? I don't know. But maybe that's your, I have to understand you as a person, as part of my project team. So one of the key elements of being a project manager is to know your people and to have your people relate to you one-on-one so that you can address them individually and give them individual attention. Then to be able to address them as a group. And you have to be careful sometimes because I notice in China and even in the United States, some people like to work alone. Some people like to work in teams. Some people need help. Some people don't. And some people can't work with anybody. Okay? So the people that can't work with anybody, make them work at night when there's nobody around. And that's okay. As long as they what? They do the work that they're supposed to do. Each person has to do the work they're supposed to do. And then on top of that, if you view yourself as part of the team, and you view yourself as helpful, if someone in the team needs help, you what? You support each other. Somebody says, hey, I need some help here. Do you understand this problem? You go and you work with them. You help them solve the problem. Because it's part of the team result. You see, AT&T, when I first joined it, was very much a elitist group. People who knew stuff got paid a lot. So people who knew stuff, they hid it from other people. So other people would not know the same stuff you knew. Oh, I'm a star! Look how great I am! I know everything! You don't know what I know. Yeah, but then they can't do their job. And I had one of the persons in my group come running to me, crying, saying, hey, I asked him a question. He's not giving me any answer. I can't do my job. I had to go to the guy and say, look, we're a team. We have to share knowledge. By sharing knowledge, we build a stronger team. By me working with you as an individual, I understand what your aspirations are and your growth plans are. And I can put you on some tasks and activities in my project that will help you achieve your growth plan. What does that make you feel about me? It makes you feel that I care about you. And if I care about you, you'll care about me. You'll care about the result, the team result. So project management has a lot of soft, personal communications issues involved. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to communicate to your management, to your team, and to your peers. My job is to not bore you. My job is not to keep you here because it's required for so many hours. It's just for you to what? To come away with some ideas and some thoughts, and to start thinking about how you can apply these ideas not only in work, in projects, but in life. I teach life, I don't just teach project management.